Fire on Ice. ESPN2's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs is brought to you by Miller Lite. When you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good. By McDonald's. Have you had your break today? And by Firestone, America's tire since 1900. For the Winnipeg Jets, Nikolai Khabibulin.
This guy's a pretty unknown quantity as you take a look at his stats for the season. A lot of people don't know very much about him, but this guy really loves to compete. He's very aggressive out there, and he'll attack the Detroit Red Wings whenever he can.
And there goes the end of the controversy, at least for this day. Chris Osgood gets his second start of the postseason.
Yeah, that hasn't happened too many times this season. Osgood is back in there. He's a big fan favorite here at home.
Was not tested very frequently in game one. Just 14 shots on goal generated by the Jets. There's the first one quickly thrown in front by Dallas Drake and cleared to the side. Heath Tkachuk plays behind the net. Mike Ramsey tries to get it to the side as Keith Primo will play it back towards Ramsey. Ramsey, number 15 in his last NHL season. Nicholas Lidstrom checked on the play by Tkachuk. Now McIver throws it to the side of the Detroit net. Made in front. Tkachuk trying to gather it in. Finally cleared to the neutral zone by Darren McCarty. McCarty pushes it up ahead to Primo. Primo takes the pass on the backhand. Works it around Manson. Down on the play. No call from the referee, Bill McCreary. Working the lines tonight, Ray Scampanella and Pierre Shampoo.
Well, Norm McIver was caught up well up the ice for the Winnipeg Jet defenseman, but the Winnipeg forwards didn't try to get back. They had a lot of confidence in Manson in that one-on-one situation.
Terry Simpson, the head coach of the Winnipeg Jets.
Well, it's been a couple of years, 8 years to be exact, since the last time Terry Simpson was in the playoffs. You see his playoff record there. He wants his club to be more consistent for 3 periods. In tonight's game, they played well for a little over 20 minutes, and then they lost all of their offensive thrust. And Scotty Bowman, what can you say about the guy? He's been here more often than anybody else. He owns a whole raft of records. You see his playoff credentials there. And Scotty has his club well tuned for this game again tonight.
Biggest credential, the number of Stanley Cup rings owned by Scotty Bowman. Winningest coach in NHL history. Konstantinov plays behind the Detroit net. It hit a stick, and the icing is waved off. Will be chased down by Teppo Numminen, number 27. He flips it through center. Alexei Zhamnov will give chase on Osgood. Osgood handles it behind the net. Zhamnov almost caught up to it. Now played by Igor Korolev. Off the puck for a moment, gets it back behind the net. Olchuk trying to work it towards the point. He does so. Finley shot, save made by Osgood. He got the blocker in the way. Now it is played by Zhamnov. Pass intercepted. Watch out, Fedorov and Kozlov. 2-on-1. Across to Fedorov. One-timer save made by Khabibulin. Good 2-on-1 engineered by the Russians. Kozlov and Fedorov.
And the key to that was how quick the shot came off of Fedorov's stick. That was just a brilliant save by Khabibulin to keep his club in it here early because they don't want Detroit to get the edge on them.
Yeah, in game one, Winnipeg did have the edge. Detroit did not score their first goal until the third period. But then they exploded for 4 goals in a 6-minute period. Play to the side of Khabibulin to the point route. Shot goes just wide. Now into the neutral zone, Paul Coffey trying to handle.
Winnipeg wants to be more aggressive offensively, Mike, but they've already had one defenseman caught on 2 different occasions already, and it's costing them chances again.
Now worked on the near side by Chris Draper. He had the goal the other night to get the Detroit Red Wings on track in the third period. Brought up the ice by Coffey. Coffey works it through. Coffey shoots. Save made! Now it's retreated by the Jets. Back the other way. Keith Tkachuk. Tkachuk works it. Bounced off the play nicely by Bob Rouse. End-to-end action early in the first period. Draper stick handling into traffic, and Dave Manson will control for Winnipeg.
Winnipeg looking a little bit uptight here, and Detroit is taking advantage of it big time.
Tkachuk pushes it back to his goaltender. We will have a stoppage. Early moments here at Joe Louis Arena.
Election year, a time for tough choices, especially at happy hour. Should you go to your usual bar or that new sports bar? Play pool or foosball? Talk to the blondes or the brunettes. But at least one choice is easy.
Miller Lite. Bottle or tap? Bottle.
Tap.
Join the party. Choose Miller Lite. Life is good. And when you vote, life is really good.
Look who's winning at McDonald's. Joanne Pearson won an IBM Aptiva computer. Mike White won a Disney video. Come play the Disney Video Masterpiece Collection Trivia Challenge today at McDonald's. You could be next. Look who's winning at McDonald's. Pamela Donnelly won $1 million. Jerry Kenny won $100,000. Come play the Disney Video Masterpiece Collection Trivia Challenge today at McDonald's. You could be next.
Detroit with 2 excellent scoring chances early in this game. Watch the bad turnover by Winnipeg in the Detroit zone. The quick 2-on-1. Perfect pass to Fedorov, and watch this instant shot, and what an incredible save by Hobby Bullen, who had to cover an awful lot of ground to make that save. And watch Paul Coffey go coast to coast. Nobody touches him. That's Muni on defense. He gets his legs spread too wide, can't make the pivot quickly enough, and it was Hobby Bullen again who came up with a big save to bail his club out, and he's going to have to continue to be as good as he was in Game 1. There you see his numbers. He held them in there as Detroit got stronger and stronger in Game 1. They had that 1-0 lead for a considerable length of time into the third period, and then all of a sudden in less than a 6-minute span, boom, it was 4-1. So Nikolai Hobby-Bullen has a pretty good idea of what to expect from this Detroit Red Wings hockey club.
Teppo Numminen, number 27. One of the guys with not a lot of playoff experience on this Winnipeg team, but a young man who was very effective in the season series against the Detroit Red Wings for Winnipeg. That season series won by the Detroit Red Wings. 3-2-1 the Red Wings record against Winnipeg this year. The Jets the only team in the NHL to win 2 games against Detroit in the regular season.
And Numminen and Finley will be out against the Russian 5 of Detroit as often as Terry Simpson can possibly manage it.
Chris King being pestered by Steve Yzerman. The captain's meeting on the near side. Yzerman flips it over to Mike Ramsey. Ramsey gets it ahead to Steve Yzerman. Yzerman works it around the outside on Tverdovsky. Puts it back behind to Darren McCarty. McCarty being pestered on the play. Well taken by McCarty, wrapped around, but he can't get a shot on net. Puck goes into the center zone, pushed back in. And the offsides is called.
There's a look at Oleg Tverdovsky, one of the 2 players, Chad Kilger being the other, coming over to the Winnipeg Jets in the Teemu Selanne trade. This kid is very highly skilled and was the best Winnipeg Jet defenseman in game number 1 against Detroit. Terry Simpson would like to see his other defenseman playing a little more offensive the way Tverdovsky was in game 1. We've seen early signs here in this first period where they tried to get involved, but they've been getting caught up ice. You cannot afford to do that against Detroit.
Igor Larionov, really the key acquisition. There weren't many made this year by the Detroit Red Wings, but everybody points to the trade made with the San Jose Sharks to acquire Igor Larionov for Ray Shepherd. Shepherd is playing in the postseason. He has since left San Jose and become a very important member of the Florida Panthers. Laid down in the zone. Fetisov avoids the big hit of Dallas Drake. Drake, the former Detroit Red Wing. Now McIver gets it across to Dave Manson. Manson has no love for these Detroit Red Wings as he played many a season with the Chicago Blackhawks. Now Fetisov to Kozlov. Primo is out with the 2 Russian players, Larionov and Kozlov on the forward line. Konstantinov couldn't push it ahead to Larionov. Now played back through center. Pushed into the zone. Kozlov gets a hold. Quick shot on that. Rebound. Tkachuk can't pull the trigger. Oh, all of a sudden, Dallas Drake got a glorious scoring opportunity. Flip back deep into the zone. Kozlov controls for Detroit.
The neutral zone is always key here, and so far Detroit is getting far too much room to work with. If Winnipeg gives them that much room, they're going to be in trouble here tonight.
Primo's pass intercepted by Tkachuk. Now played again by Detroit. Coffey headmans. Pushed ahead to Sergei Fedorov. He spins at the blue line, flips it ahead. Played by Brown, knocked off the puck. Remember, Detroit playing tonight without Dino Ciccarelli, serving the 3rd of a 3-game suspension. There was an encounter against the Chicago Blackhawks. Now to the point, Numminen. Delayed penalty to be called on Detroit. Watch out, Jamnov. Brown got a stick on it. And the first penalty will go against the Detroit Red Wings. And the Winnipeg Jets will have the first power play of the night.
An interference call this time. What a great play by Doug Brown to possibly save a goal as he went diving through the slot area to save it. And it looks like he is the one who's going to be called for the interference. Here's the pass will come out in front. Watch 17 White will dive. There he is. He got there just in time, and it was Jamnov in front of the net. You don't want Jamnov to be all alone, and in fact is Brown in the penalty box right now.
That was very close to the same spot that Alexei Zhamnov scored his goal in Game 1 when he went upstairs on the first shot of the night for Winnipeg and gave the Jets the early 1-0 lead against Scotty Bowman's Wings.
Exactly right. Zhamnov and a lot of the European players, we'll talk a lot about it more too with Scotty Bowman's Russian 5, how they expand the scoring zone. In the old days, it used to be about 20 feet wide in the slot. Now anywhere from dot to dot, face-off dot inside the zones, it's all scoring zone areas now. And you can see Zhamnov almost got that scoring chance just a moment ago.
So Brown goes off for interference. The Jets with the first power play of the night. They were 0 for 4 with the man advantage 2 nights ago. Detroit, the best penalty killing unit in the NHL in the regular season. Just percentage points below breaking the all-time record held by the Philadelphia Flyers. You see the Game 1 numbers. 0 for 4 for Winnipeg. Now played deep down by Steve Yzerman. Yzerman with a couple of shorthanded goals in the regular season. Janney tries to center. Janney plays behind. Konstantinov bothers him. Now Lidstrom ties up Eddie Olchuk. All 3 blue jerseys behind the net. Tkachuk gets it out to Numanen. Numanen gets it back to Keith Tkachuk. Shot goes to the side. Rebound kicked out by Osgood in a pile, and Yzerman able to gather it in. Across to Lidstrom, ahead to Bob Airy. Bob Airy playing in his first playoff game as he gets tossed into the net by Alexei Zhamnov. As he was also serving his suspension in Game 1, returns to the ice surface tonight. We check in for the first time this evening with Kenny Mayne.
Penguins trying to even up the series with the Caps on the power play. It's Mario Lemieux behind the net. He's got the puck looking for Francis. Found him. There's Peter Nedved. He got 2 quick ones in Game 1 and a quick one in Game 2. It's 1-0.
And the question, Kenny, will that hold up? Remember the big comeback in Game 1 for the Washington Capitals as they won 5-4.
Well, they always say go to the net. Bob Airy goes to the net, gets taken down. This is well away from the play, and I think Scotty Bowman and his Detroit Red Wings are a little upset. You can see how they were holding each other, and Airy went down and into the net. No penalty called on the play to Zhamnov. Bob Airy just back from suspension as well. And this guy's a real feisty player, the type of player that every coach loves in the playoffs. He can play tough. He's not a very big guy. He is an absolutely in-your-face kind of player, and he's great in the locker room, too.
Won 2 Stanley Cups with Scotty Bowman in Pittsburgh at the beginning of the decade. Now played by Fedorov, back to Paul Coffey. Exactly a minute remaining in the interference penalty to Brown.
And one of the things Winnipeg wants to improve on in this game is their power play. They really struggled in Game 1 coming up the ice. Detroit is so smart and so experienced. They got them off along the boards all night long and gave them no passes, and they've done so pretty successfully early on in this power play as well, too. Winnipeg has to get it out in the middle of the ice.
Fedorov forces the turnover at the blue line. Now gets it ahead. Coffey scores! What a play! Sergei Fedorov to Paul Coffey. A short-handed goal. It is 1-0 Detroit in the Octopi. Are all over the ice surface.
What great talent these 2 players display here. A turnover by Tverdovsky at the blue line. Coffey coming late. Fedorov just kind of treading water in the middle. And Coffey tiptoes in behind, gets the perfect pass. Look at Fedorov, buying time, buying time. He knows Coffey's coming. Pivots at exactly the right time. Coffey pulls away from Tverdovsky. Absolutely perfect precision passing and execution by 2 of the best players in the National Hockey League. Nothing Hoppy Bullen can do on this one. Look at that execution. Winnipeg could have used that guy on defense. I don't mean the guy in black, the one with all the arms there. You needed 1 on Coffey coming from behind and 1 on Fedorov. You see Paul Coffey's numbers. This guy, you know, in golf they have Iron Byron that takes the perfect golf swing. Paul Coffey has the perfect skating stride, and you saw it right there.
Paul Coffey, his 2nd goal in as many games of this series. Fedorov gets the lone assist. It comes short-handed at 6 minutes and 35 seconds of the first period.
That's a short-handed goal, and boy, that's a backbreaker at any time. But early on in the hockey game, to go up 1-0, Detroit just gets rolling. You can feel the adrenaline rush through the whole crowd in this building now. It's exactly what the Winnipeg Jets did not want.
Let's watch Sergei Fedorov. He has had some great scoring opportunities early in the game. Here comes another. What a save by Hoppy Bullen as he got the big blocker up. Fedorov set up the Coffey shorthanded goal. He has already had 2 glorious scoring chances of his own. Zhamnov back the other way. Now Chris Draper controls for Detroit. The indication of penalty forthcoming against the Winnipeg Jets. Detroit 6 seconds remaining in the penalty to Brown, and then they'll have a power play of their own.
A little frustration penalty. Looks like a slashing penalty on the Winnipeg Jets. They just gave up a shorthanded goal. Now they're frustrated. They're back on their heels a little bit, trying to create a little bit of adrenaline. And it's Tkachuk gone to the penalty box for a slash. Bobby Boulin's been a busy man already, and another turnover by Winnipeg. And Sergei Fedorov is not the guy you want to be turning the puck over to. You can see the puck flutter a little bit in the course of the shot. And here's the two-handed chop by Tkachuk right across the forearm of Draper. And Tkachuk is out for 2 minutes.
Heath Tkachuk for slashing at 7:05 of the first period. Detroit Red Wings have been very dominant this hockey season in this building, Brian. They have lost just 3 times this year at Joe Louis Arena. One of those times was, though, in the regular season to the Winnipeg Jets. So 3 seconds now left on the penalty to Doug Brown, and the power play will go into effect for Sergei Fedorov and his teammates. The penalty has come to an end. Konstantinov controls for Detroit their first power play of the night. They had 1 power play goal in game 1. They were 1 for 5 with the man advantage during the regular season. Had great success on the power play against Winnipeg.
Detroit has an edge to them right now. That goal has given them the extra confidence. Right from the outset, they have really taken it to Winnipeg.
Russian 5 on the ice surface. Fetisov gets it to the far side. Igor Larionov steps it to the top of the circles, leaves it for Fedorov. Now Fetisov back to Fedorov. Big shot, save made, rebound. Bulin trying to hold on. He gets help from his defenseman.